Ladies and gentlemen, my name is Royce. I am your runner, and tonight I sit down with a very special guest, an up-and-coming, soon-to-be very prominent tech in Colorado. But before we get into the discussion, I have a couple announcements for the channel. One, life gets a little busy, so my uploads on gameplay have been hit or miss. I am trying to get out to the field, but between weather shutting fields down, work picking up, and me working the weekends, it's been a little hard to get out. However, one thing that I am going to start doing on the channel, because I really do enjoy doing this. My best friend and I, for a couple nights a week, we've been going back and playing some games that I used to play when I used to game like a decade ago. But they're couch co-op. So what we're going to do is we're going to play some old games and just have some fun with people in the chat because Airsoft is a team sport. So I figure gaming, team, have a person sitting in the room with me while we play some games, Halo, Gears of War, all that old school stuff, and just relive the glory days of what couch co-op used to be. So that's coming up, and if all goes well, the first game should be live tomorrow right here on Runner Airsoft. But without any further ado, again, an up-and-coming and soon-to-be a very prominent tech, Ross DeMidio of RDD Airsoft Works. Ross, how you doing tonight?
I'm doing pretty fantastic. You have glitter on your neck.
Yeah, it happens. It happens. I have daughters that throw glitter around the house, so.
Yes, they do. I got bombarded coming in.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
So, first of all, say hi to the people. Wave hi to the people.
Hello, people. Hi, Mom.
All right. Be super cognizant of the microphone. Again, these are really directional. So, for those of you that don't know, Ross is fairly new to Colorado, like within like the last year and a half.
Yeah.
If even
September 1st when I moved here of last year. So
okay. So yeah, like
year and a half.
like 6 months or no, because last year 2017 or last year 2018.
I've been here for over a year.
Okay.
So September. This year
Okay.
was
So about a
year.
year and a half.
Yeah.
And one of the things that Ross has been getting really well known for in the Colorado Airsoft community is his teching capabilities. And since he's been here, he actually started up his own company, RDD Airsoft Works. Link is in the description for his Facebook page, by the way. And he is a person who on the field, and I've seen this, he is highly goofy, but has a heart of gold. And I have seen him help people on the field in a pinch. People show up, they just bought a replica, and it shoots hot for the field. So Ross has actually done work to literally on the field to get people to play, torn guns apart on the field, used tools, and get people out to play. So Ross, introduce yourself a little bit. Tell us how you got interested in Airsoft and where it all started for you.
Okay, so I started playing Airsoft, technically speaking, back in 2007. Kind of relative, depends on what you count as Airsoft. If you count backyard plinking with springers, 2007.
No, and I would count that because, I mean, that's Airsoft. That's how you got introduced to it.
Okay. So in that respect, then, 2007, I really started getting into Airsoft more in 2010 when my mother finally let me get my first gun. You don't want to know the kind of begging that took.
See, so I was mowing lawns. I was mowing lawns when I was 10 years old, and I got in when I was about 12. Actually, about the same time, because I'm 2 years older than you. Yep. So about the same time as you did, the same year. But I was mowing lawns and stuff and making a bunch of money. And my parents are a family full of hunters. My mom was a parole officer for the state of Colorado. So I went, hey, I want Airsoft. And my mom was like, well, where do you get them? And we found them at Army Navy Surplus. So my mom used to let me go spend my lawn mowing money on Airsoft replicas, man.
You see, the problem wasn't getting or working for the rifle. The problem was Mom does not like guns. So getting her and persuading her to finally let me get one was a nightmare.
Yeah,
it did finally happen. God bless her. She's probably very happy now.
Yeah.
She's like, I made a good decision back then. Took you long enough. Just kidding. Love you, Mom. Anyway. Well, yes, I started playing in 2010, and it just it grew from there, just like with everybody.
Yeah.
You shoot your friends once or twice, and like, this is fun.
Yeah.
And then you go to a field, and you shoot other people with your friends, and you're like, this is more fun. And then you shoot your friends again.
See, and that's an experience I didn't have when I was a kid, because keep in mind the coasts, and you're from New York, so...
Yep, upstate, just under the Adirondacks, right on the coastline of Lake Ontario.
So the coasts, California, New York, Eastern Seaboard, and Western Seaboard, they get everything way before. Way before they tend to be the trendsetters, right? That's just with anything, right? Whether it's politics or fashion or television or music or whatever, they tend to be
buried in snow.
Colorado used to be like that, not so much anymore, but you know. But anyway, I digress. But when I was a kid, there were no fields. And I've talked to a lot of people, and I'm like, man, I stopped playing about the time a lot of my buddies in high school started graduating, going to college. Mm-hmm. And so I stopped playing around like 2008, 2009. I'm like, I don't think there were any fields back then. And they're like, no, there weren't. Like, I had the advantage of between myself and like 2 or 3 other guys, we could arm up like 12 people. And we lived out in farm country, right? So
Lauren Wilmus. You want to talk about arming people?
Yeah.
If she's watching right now, she's got a kick out of that.
Yeah. So, but if you can, but yeah, I mean, it was all farm country, very small town. So because I lived in a very small town and times were definitely different than they are now, especially, 15 years ago. But maybe a little after that, probably 12 years ago now. But times are very different. So we got to like play in the park and stuff because the cops knew us. The cops in the town, they knew us. We went to school with their kids. And so they'd say, you guys can play, but if anybody calls and complains, you're done. So be respectful to people. Yeah. So, no, but again, very, very different airsoft experience. I would not tell anybody now ever in today's day and age
to do that.
To do that. That is not something that can get somebody in a lot of trouble. Again, but my mom was also a parole officer for the state. So I grew up around firearms as well. And we lived in the country. Most people grew up around firearms. We all knew the rules. We treated even just our little Springer replicas. Granted, my Springers could shoot 375.
Yeah, mine shot
they
150.
They were hard, but No, I had Uzis and we had snipers and we had all kinds of stuff. But
extreme 50-foot max range.
But so I never got the field experience, and it makes me really jealous to hear a guy that's like, oh, then I went to a field.
Sort of, but there's a time span there because, we got to fix the microphone. Hello.
So just watch the mic.
Did we fix the microphone?
Yes.
Did we get this?
Yes.
We're good. Perfect. I digress.
A little louder if you can.
So, no, I'm sorry. I'm
sorry. These things are so finicky. I just have to be very sorry, guys. The microphones I haven't upgraded. They're a pain. They do not, however, capture the other noises of the house, though.
Which is a good thing considering the children running around upstairs. It's very entertaining.
Yeah, no, it's awesome. Okay, so anyway, go on.
The field experience for me didn't happen until I think 2014 or 2015.
Oh, wow.
I actually went to... Lauren, comment in the comments when we actually went to our first field, because that was the first time it was. It was like 2015 or 2016, I think. We played backyard plinking, and then we had, being in upstate, we had lots of public land that we could play in the woods.
Right.
So that's what we did. And it started off with backyard plinking or with spring guns.
Okay.
And then one of my friends got a Sima AK. He had the Spetsnaz, what was it? It was the Spetsnaz... Type B AK-74. It's AK-74B.
Right.
He got that, and then I got my AGM M4, and it was great.
Oh, give me 1 second here.
Okay.
Sorry, I did not preface this at the beginning of the show, and I should have.
Shoot.
Because we do have Foxman Johnson in the comments below. We will be doing a Q&A at the end. I usually say the last 15 minutes of the show. I am so sorry. So Foxman, give us just a few. And I will answer your question, I promise.
Is this Foxman the Fox? I think it is.
Possibly. Anyway.
I believe it is. Anyway, so where were we? All right. So I got my first gun there, and it was great. I mean, let me tell you what. When you're playing in the woods, and you and one other guy have AEGs, and everyone else is still running Springers, it's fantastic. This is, mind you, when you're like 13, 14 years old and don't understand what a good gun is anyway.
Right.
But, and then your friends go and get G&P. And KWA, and what was the other one back then? Classic Army was the other big one. And you find yourself outgunned very, very quickly. Hence when I learned to tech.
No, man, the first airsoft gun that I had that, because I didn't know what I ducked out, but I made all my Springers last a really long time. The first good.
You have a habit of making stock guns last forever and doing very well with them, I have to say. It's scary playing against you in the field, and I love it.
They're just stock guns, man. They ain't got the best range, but it forces me to be a better player. But the first gun I ever played with that was of the caliber of like the modern day was my Masada.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, right. You were telling me about this at Airheads a while back.
Because so I bought it like a year and a half-ish ago, give or take. And what was, because again, Airsoft was not what it is now. Like, I'll never forget the first time I saw like a Milsim style video, and this was years and years and years ago. This is over a decade ago now. I started laughing. I was like, if this is where Airsoft going, it's dead.
First Op Irene video, I watched all my buddies and I were like, we have to go, and we're all still running. We're still backyard plinking and saying, you've got a 50-foot minimum engagement distance, and meanwhile we're watching Op Irene videos like, we have to do this. It'll be amazing. Not really thinking about the fact that we're going to get shot a lot.
That's awesome.
Oh, how we've grown.
But yeah, so I didn't know about a lot of. So I've actually had to learn like retroactively about a lot of the guns that you experienced.
And it's a lot of what I experienced. I did get to see some cool stuff. Growing up and playing in some of the fields I played at. Penn Yan Airsoft was my home field. God, I miss that place so much. That was New York's equivalent to Kiowa.
Oh, really?
That's a statement. Because you know how good Kiowa was. Penn Yan was amazing. The main guy there, some people here are going to know who I'm talking about, some people aren't, but his call sign was Dobie. And he was doing, I would argue he was the best tech in the U.S. next to some of the guys in Umbrella. Like, this guy did incredible stuff, incredible custom stuff. He was the inspiration. Some of the stuff I'm going to show you guys later, a lot of my inspiration came from Dobie and some of the guys at Penn Yan. A lot of them really lifted me up as a person. And all of this was 3-4 years ago. So this is not that far off in the past.
No.
A lot of the stuff I teach these little kids at the field, I'm showing them how to play corners and stuff. Despite the fact I've been playing so long, I learned that stuff 4 years ago playing at Penn Yan when the owner of the field and a few of the guys who play there all the time, some of the team members of Red Right Hand, saw us with potential and reached out and said, hey, let us show you guys a few things.
I've experienced the same thing, especially with a lot of our mutual friends and things like that. So
that's the amazing thing about the community in Airsoft. No, and
it is amazing. And Colorado has we have cliques. I've noticed, but I've gotten to play with a lot of the cliques. And a lot of people in the cliques are really, really like, I think I have my own clique, which is really weird to say, but like it happens. It happens. Like there's this little, like I have a clique and like I know people from other cliques, right? And we're totally cool with each other on the field, but we don't stash our shit by each other. Yeah. Like,
God,
it's like, I'm going to set up over, and then you have to walk over to the other clique and say hi to them. Oh, hey guys, how you do? You know?
Yep.
No, it's so funny. So,
so we got just communities coming together. It's gonna
it is. It's gonna be really fun. So so you're starting Airsoft. You started obviously backyard plinking like all of us did. You did some woods play with open land springers. You actually saw some of the more classic. More classic style Airsoft compared to what I've seen because I didn't see a lot of those early models because I was getting out of it.
Yep.
Right as a lot of people that I know, they're like, oh yeah, I was getting into it then. I was getting out of it then. I had played Airsoft with a group of basically whoever we could get for like 6 or 7 years.
And we have small groups a lot of times. There's like 6 or 7 guys.
So we've covered the beginnings of it all. Now, where are you? Or I'm sorry, not where are you? How did you get into teching? What got you into teching, and what's like a memorable moment that you went, I can do this? I can. Oh. So like, what got you started?
Okay.
In teching, how did you start teching? And then what's the one memorable moment? So we'll start your teching, and then one memorable moment that made you go, I can do a company.
So what? That's actually a bit harder because there's 2 different things I could say there. But moving on, what got me started in teching, as I said, was the being amazing with this badass gun when all your friends are shooting at you with springers. Right. And then your friends went and got what was at that time top of the line gear, and you find yourself very outgunned. So I went to my dear sweet mother and said, Mother, I'm being shot a lot and I can't compete against anybody. May I get a better gun? And my ever so understanding, wonderful mother said, no. So I was forced to compromise. I said, well, can I get parts and make it better? And she's like, okay, yeah, we can do that. So Christmas rolls around. I got a bunch of parts.
Which, by the way, Mom, that was actually more expensive than just letting him get a new gun.
It definitely was.
Because I've seen what parts cost.
This is assuming Mom's actually even watching.
Oh no, she is. I saw her in the. Yeah, no.
Oh, great.
Parts for a replica are actually more expensive than just buying a replica.
But the gun you can build will outperform.
Oh, well, no,
anything.
very true, very true.
Just about anything you can buy.
Okay, so
anyway, I did that, and it started off.
What was the first gun you built? Oh, you have it? No kidding.
This was my first airsoft gun.
No
It looks
kidding.
nothing like it did when I got it. This was a 2011 pre-release, so I bought it. I got this in 2010. It was right before Christmas. It was the 2011 model.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting there like,
No, I'm burping away from the microphone because
I gotcha.
obviously, beer, you're gonna burp. These microphones do not handle that crap well, because I'll burp and it's gonna in their ears. So sorry about that, guys.
This show's quickly going to deteriorate. Anyway, this started off as a AGM M4. This was, I don't remember if the combat machine was out at that time. I'd imagine it was, but this was more than 10 years ago. No, not more than 10 years ago. 2011. I can't.
So
just because I'm an engineer doesn't mean I can do math.
Yeah, he can't do math. He can't do math, but he can do magical things with the gearbox. It's amazing.
Yes, I can. Anyway,
Because that's airsoft math. Airsoft math is easy.
I bought this, and it was on par with what the combat machines are. I actually think the combat machines now are better, but it was a
Original
metal-
combat machines were good. The ones now are better. But I heard that because that was kind of like the step up, like, oh crap, something not Tokyo Marui can be good.
Yeah.
Okay.
We all love Tony at TM, though. Oh, we love them. Anyway, moving on. Okay, let's not get into that. Let's not go there. Just leave it as we love them mostly. For the most part, they're great. Come on, we can't dock them. Moving on. Bought the gun.
I can give them. Here's the thing. I believe in giving credit where credit is due. I can give Tokyo Marui certain things. Other things, however, I'm again give credit where credit's due. I give them the pluses. I give them the minuses. Overall, they are definitely a net good. In my perspective.
1 joule, 200 foot of range. That's insane.
I know that's what
That's
my little
all I
MP5
can
has,
say.
dude. That's what my little MP5 has.
So for what they are,
No,
they are
absolutely.
given, the restrictions that they have.
Okay, so
Anyway,
so this is the first airsoft gun that you worked on.
this was the first gun I ever worked on. This was my first AEG. So we're just crediting the Springers.
Yeah.
This was the gun that I got all those years ago that started everything. It started off as an AGM M4. It was just your quad rail was all metal. That's why I wanted it. I was like, it's an all metal gun. It's got to be good. Boy, was I wrong.
Duh.
Oh, boy, was I wrong. As of right now, the only things left on it that are the original gun are the upper and lower receivers
Okay.
and this barrel. That is it.
That's really cool though.
So I have its heart and soul still. She is still as she was all those years ago. And this thing has been through so many transformations. We'll get into more of that later on when we actually start talking a little more teching. But
Yeah.
she's seen some days. This has been with me all over the country. This gun's become famous at places. This gun, I have things in here, like I said, Dobie inspired me to make this handguard.
Okay.
So again, we'll go into that later, but this is the godfather of my teching career, of my teching experience. This pretty much everything I know, I tried it on this gun and either succeeded or failed on it with this gun.
Failed first.
Actually,
Only
not to
'cause
brag, I did not have many failures.
Oh. I've
been
exploded
lucky.
gearboxes out of my Messiah.
Now
Don't put an M140 in a stock gearbox, ladies and gentlemen.
Salvi,
Okay.
if you're watching, let's talk about your DSG.
No,
then we can discuss the failures.
No, okay.
With this
okay.
gun, she's been mostly successful. Moving
Okay,
on.
good. That's actually a good thing. So, all right. So, what was the moment? Because I want to know. Because you're obviously airsoft teching now,
Yes.
and you're running a company. Although small, it's run out of your garage currently, which I think all small companies start off that way.
Every good company started in a garage.
What was the moment that you can remember that you went, okay, I'm going to do an airsoft tech company? What was there a definitive moment, or was it just something you just kind of like gradually worked to, or was there at that moment where you went, this is it?
So that's kind of two halves to that.
Okay.
Because
Go for it.
the moment of I can do this happened many, many years ago. The moment of I'm going to make this a company happened a year ago, not long after I moved here.
Give me both.
Sure.
Give me both. Let's
Which do
start
you
off.
want first?
I can do this.
So, okay. Preface this by saying that all of the people whose names I'm not going to mention in this story, this was back in high school when we were all idiots. and everyone was more concerned about their image and their popularity over just being a good person. All of these people have grown up to be great people. I still talk to a lot of them. They're all good friends of mine. So even though I'm going to trash talk a little bit here, we're all on good terms and have been for many years since then.
Airsoft friends both suck. Airsoft friends will kick you in the nuts only to pick you up out of the mud when you hit the ground.
Fair enough. That's pretty much what happened here. So the moment I said I could do this, back was just ending high school. It was my senior year of high school. So I was with an airsoft team. And we'll put that in quotes. We were all high school, ranging from 15 to 19 years old was the oldest guy that was there. And we had our team, and the only reason I was part of it was because one of my friends was extremely popular, and they wanted him on that team. He would not go without me. Thank you, John Parker. I love you for that. I will say his name because he deserves the credit when credit is due. So that said, he was the main reason why I was part of that team. Anyway, so this team obviously didn't really have any respect for me, didn't really like me. I was not a popular person in high school.
I have to finish this one now.
Send it. Don't waste it.
No, I'm not going to send it.
Actually, you are drinking water, so you could waste it, but it's okay.
Uh,
Anyway, so at that point, I'd been teching for a few years, working on my own stuff, working on my friends' stuff. That's how these friends who did support me knew that I knew what I was doing, but obviously the bigger picture didn't. So I came over one night. We were going to an op the next day, a local op, and when I got there, the two teams' techs were working on our team leader's rifle. Team leader was very, very distraught. You could see it in his eyes. He was not happy. I showed up. I asked what's going on and was more or less told to bug off. It's like, okay, you know what? I know how the story goes. Fine, you guys fix it. A couple hours go by, them working on it. They basically come to the conclusion that they don't know what's wrong with it. They can't fix it. Our team leader, very upset, pretty much decides he's just going to chuck it and get a new gun and now needs to figure out what he's going to do for the op the next day. I step in again and say, let me look at it. Again, met with very much so, no, I don't think so.
Met with a lot of resistance.
Yes, thank you.
Because the nerdy guys get met with a lot of... I was the nerdy guy in high school, dude. I was the nerdy guy in high school, so I know where you're coming from.
At that point, and if I am not completely accurate in this story, for any of you who know this story, who were there, I'm sorry, you may correct me.
You're all a bunch of douchebags. That's what he's saying.
No, not at all. I don't remember every detail exactly.
No, but go on.
Ago.
But no, I'm just trying to be facetious.
I'm
just trying to be facetious.
At that point, my buddy John steps in. He's like, look, if you're just going to chuck the thing, it's already trashed. Just let the guy work on it. Who knows? He's like, fine. He gives it to me. They all go upstairs to watch a movie, and I'm left down here with a gun. 45 minutes later, they hear tick, 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 brrr, tick, tick, tick. And the stairs, I hear. Stops. Head comes around the corner, and he's just like, bullshit. I'm like, go find out for yourself, man. I hand it to him. He goes outside to shoot it. Everyone else comes down and looks and like, did he really do it? My buddy John's standing in the background just like, you got it, didn't you? It's like, just wait for it.
Just wait for it. Wait for it.
He comes, yeah.
You pulled a Barney Stinson, didn't
pretty
you?
Much.
Legend. Wait for it. Yeah. Dairy.
He comes back in the house, and his whole face has changed. He sets the gun down on the counter, looks at me, and just freaking bear hugs me. We did call him Bear, so that kind of makes sense.
Okay.
But he freaking bear hugs me. And I don't remember his exact words, so I'm going to paraphrase best I remember. Something along the lines of, I am so sorry for how I've treated you. I don't know how you did this, but thank you. And I never had another issue with that team again. So we went to the op the next day. It did end up breaking again, but that was because we didn't understand that MOSFETs and 11-1 LiPos kind of need to go together. So we ended up breaking out the contacts, but the overall issue, which don't ask me what it was because I don't remember. It was an electrical issue, I believe, ironically enough, but we did fix it. He was able to play most of the day, and no one ever questioned me again. That was the day where I was like, yeah, I know what I'm doing, guys. Let me show you.
Little bit of a confidence boost, right?
Big time.
And it helped that you had a buddy there standing in your corner. You know, you always. No, you always got to have somebody in your corner for you, helping you up and helping you out, and just a little kind of a waxing philosophical here, but it's always good, no matter what you're doing in life, that I've found me personally to have somebody standing in your corner.
Yeah, and I had that, and I needed that.
So. What was that moment where you went, okay, let's make this a job. Let's see if I can turn this into a business.
I'll get that in 2 seconds. I want to make sure I don't completely blow these guys out of the water. Because what followed after that, I will give these guys credit. The 2 techs, instead of what you would expect from a high schooler of being very
jealous.
Yeah, jealous or otherwise
overbearing.
push you away more because now you've one-upped us. Instead, a level of respect kind of came out of the group. These guys talked to me, got a little learning involved, and became very good techs. A lot of these guys, too, and again, we were young, so some of this is you're young and dumb.
Well, yeah, you're high school age. I mean, come on. Ego is
it's everything.
huge in high school, man.
But everyone, instead of causing a segregation, stepped up, owned up, and all became really good people.
No, that's awesome.
So that was the thing. Like it went from this.
Airsoft seems to have that effect on a lot of people, I've noticed. It's just because it's this weird like niche. And I think everybody realizes that if you start pushing people away in this weird niche, because let's face it, Airsoft is a worldwide hobby, but it's a small worldwide hobby.
Yeah.
So if somebody...
It's a sport.
If somebody in Europe does something and screws up, we are going to know about it here in Colorado. And it's just that really weird, like I've never seen that in Airsoft in any capacity with other, or I've never seen that outside of Airsoft in any capacity with any other hobby. It's just this very weird thing that Airsoft has. I think as Airsoft grows, that's going to go away. But yeah, I mean, you don't want to push people away. At all. Not in any regard do you want to push people away.
So, as I said, it's been a while since I've talked to a lot of them, but last I knew, everyone was doing great, and characters stepped up in all of us. So we all became better people.
Yeah, I mean, that's the difference between high school and the real world, right? High school, you can afford an ego. The real world, you can't.
No, you cannot. That's for sure.
So,
to go back to your other question now.
Yeah,
this
what
is much,
made
much
you?
Shorter story.
What was that moment where you went, I'm going to do this as a job. I'm going to do this as a company.
So what ended up happening when I got out to Colorado, Airsoft out here is a lot bigger. There's more places to play. Fields are bigger. I mean, I'll say this. Fields here are bigger. There's more fields. So we had Penyan Airsoft, which was amazing. But it wasn't that big. It was a 50-acre field, and for weekend skirmishes, we were only playing on 2 acres, the village. When once a month, they'd run an op, and we'd play the full 50 acres. And they had little hard points out there. The place was amazing. The community around it was amazing. It is akin to what you have described Kiowa to be. So that I do miss that place greatly. But when I got out here, Airsoft is bigger. There's a lot more people playing. There's a lot more interest. And over time, as I played, people started to get to know me. A lot of times, you said, I'll loan out. I have tons of rifles I'll bring, and I'll loan them out to anybody. If their stuff goes down, if they want to see what a better rifle is, or whatever, I'll loan them out. I've taken kids who are running around with a freaking Springer, and I was like, here, buddy, go actually have a really fun day. And the faces, the light up on their faces when they get back is just the best. That's what makes everything worth it. But it got to a point where people started figuring out I knew how to tech, and that I liked doing it. And so people would come to me and say, hey, can you do this for me? Can you do that for me? Can you make my gun do this? And I got to a point where almost every weekend, no matter where I played, I was going home with somebody's gun to work on. I was like, all right, you know what? I'm at the point where it's worth it. Let's just see what happens. Boom, RDD Airsoft works. Biggest success or biggest failure of my life. Who knows? Let's see what happens.
I'll flip that coin.
I think I caught the heads. I think I caught it right. So we'll see what happens.
Well, yeah,
Been a year and we're doing good.
No. Well, and that's one thing. So like I obviously met you, I think the day that Kiowa burned down.
Oh God, I knew this was gonna come up.
I will say this, like one of the things that so
moment of silence.
Like how I met Ross was it was weird.
That's definitely the best way to put it.
Well, no, because I thought I had met you more times than I actually had.
I only remember.
I thought I remembered 2 times at the very least, or maybe you and I had just talked a lot that one day at the field.
We conversed a lot that day. And remember too, I walked up to you in game, and I was like, "Yeah, I'm Ross." And like, I know, I'm Royce, runner. We met. All right.
Well, but with all my gear on, people don't recognize me because I mean the helmet and the whole 9. But
it was an entertaining day.
But no, that was a super fun day with games. But it's like, so I hear how I really became acquainted with Ross, and like, because my clique,
the clique.
And so my clique,
kicking in. No, I'm kidding.
So my clique in Airsoft, they all became good friends with Ross. he was talking. Here's the thing: he was talking with the same people I was talking with, and maybe that's why I feel like I had met you before. Is because I had heard a lot about you from other people, right? And people like, you know Ross Dominio? I'm like, yes, I know Ross Dominio because I actually.
Unfortunately, I've met that guy.
I was like, I did know. I was like, yes, I have met him before, and I do know him. I know who you're talking about. Well, I get told from one of our buddies, hey. And I think maybe we had added each other on Facebook.
Maybe.
And that's why I was like, that's why I thought I know him. But I guess I didn't know him as well as I thought I did. I think I just got a really good character read on you.
You're good at that. It's scary. Stop it.
Yeah. I think I just got a really good character read on you that day. But so Ross gets some things jacked out of his truck. Somebody goes in, they steal his airsoft guns.
Right.
And one of my buddies, Old Fart Airsoft, says, I'm giving him something. And I think he gave you a G3 knowing
and
Old
that's
Fart.
Ultimately, well, actually, no, we'll go into that in a bit here.
So, but anyway, so he gave me a gun.
out.
And I'm sitting here going, well, I have this, I have this MP5 and I was going to do something with it, but I know he had a sub gun. And so, oh, shit.
Keep talking.
Yeah. And so I was like, you know what? The guy got his stuff stolen. I obviously have guns that partially work. And I was like, you know what, dude? Hey, you want a gun to make up for? Because he had a UMP 45.
I miss that thing so much.
Oh, they're so fun, dude. I love the UMP platform.
I missed that UMP 45. That thing is getting a makeover.
I knew he had a sub gun, and I
one.
didn't have a sub gun other than the MP5, and I wasn't using this one. And so I was like, hey, man, your stuff got stolen. I'm not using it. Do you want it? And he was like, yeah. And I think he was like weirded out.
The conversation went, no, I can't accept that. And you're like, you're going to take it. I'm like, no. You're like, it's going to be in your mailbox in the morning or you're going to take it now. It's your choice. I guess I'm taking the gun.
I get very violent when I tell people. I have threatened to throw a gun at him
4 times now in the past week.
Today.
You did threaten to throw one at me once today and 4 times in the past week. All Masada and once with a scar. It's going to be a good time.
I was going to say, it's going to be about a dozen now.
I mean, you've got to.
But anyway,
yeet.
But well, I always tell him, I say, Ross, because he's a tech, right? And so I tell him, Ross, if I ever get tired of working on my own guns, I'm just going to walk into your house, go into your garage where you're working, and I'm just going to throw a gun at you, and then I'm going to leave.
And then he's going to get it back and wonder what happened to his gun.
Yeah.
It's going to shoot amazing, except it's probably going to shoot to the left because you bent your barrel when you threw it at me.
Because you bent your... Hey, corner shots, bro. Corner shots. So...
This is actually that MP5.
That's awesome.
I almost didn't want to show this first because well, you'll understand. You know what? Moment everyone's been waiting for.
Yeah, so this is where, and I mentioned this specifically because I was actually hoping he was going to do this. So a little bit of character manipulation there, Ross.
You're a jerk.
But I was hoping that he was going to do this because it's time to get into why you guys are here. What does he do? He's a tech.
I build guns.
Hold it up to the microphone.
So we have guns. Now, fair warning, I have found microphones tend to make gearboxes sound really bad. As Royce has showed me with his beautifully shimmered Masada,
keep in mind,
like trash over the phone.
These are $100 microphones.
So maybe these will work better. We'll find out.
They might.
But I'm giving you the warning. This may sound like trash just because.
It might sound like trash over the phone, but just listen to the cycle rate.
So, yes, this MP5 was given to me by Royce as a way to try and rebuild my fleet, a way to rebuild the guns that I like to loan out. Because of the unfortunate situation that occurred in which I lost everything except my main rifle there. It was a very upsetting day.
I can imagine.
So this rifle's given me, and I wanted to do Royce justice. So we went through, and I did, well, I'll just show you guys. Hey, Royce.
Holy fuck. That actually clipped my microphones.
Knock, knock.
Who's there? So,
ladies and gentlemen, that is 53 rounds per second, dual sector gear, because I had to. And if we want to blow it up, I got a 4-cell battery, which will probably put it close to 70. And I guarantee the comments are going to explode saying, do it.
You know what you should do with this thing? Because I know the body. I know.
It is mechanical. There's no Titan in there, by the way.
Wait, that's mechanical?
It's mechanical, no Titan.
Holy.
That has...
Okay, yeah, the trigger pull is a little long. No, it's fine. Stop it. No, it's fine.
Pico active braking sitting in there.
Oh, okay. I was like, there's no way. No, because we're not going to blow it up. So here's my thing.
If we get enough comments in the video
I bought this on. I remember when I got this This is, by the way, so everybody knows we are being 100% safe. There's nothing in the barrel. All of these were cleared prior to this.
Yep. All the
All of these
magazines
are
are empty.
cleared. This is, for example, no, we are not wearing iPro because we have.
Well, some
they've
of us
been
have permanent iPro, but
well.
I mean,
These have been checked. So yes, we are being perfectly safe. But dude, that's effing retarded.
let
But
it rip.
This
Knock,
is
knock.
okay. So
Do it.
So see the long box right there? Ross, I want you to watch the long box.
And you're
See the long box, okay?
Yep.
That where the microphones are plugged into? Okay, ready? Watch. See that red light? That red light means that we are breaking the sound quality of the video right now. So that's effing retarded. Obviously, he doesn't go full auto with this at Fields.
Well, when Big Red decides to make his open up, this is, by the way, to give you some details, this is a Royce special. It is at 0.9 joules. It is a 1 joule build, 50 rounds per second,
built-
SMG.
You
field
built
legal.
a 1 joule gun with the gun I gave you.
You're damn straight. I wanted to do you right. I wanted to do right by you for your generosity and you reaching out to me when I was in a time of need.
Dude, it's legit. So,
anyway.
all right, what did you do to it? How do you get it to do 50 billion rounds a second? So, okay, so all right, so this is an SMG build. He brought multiple builds, so we need to somewhat rapid fire these guys. So give me a quick breakdown, and then once we get the breakdown of the guns, I want you to go into some fine tuning because we're drawing up on time for our Q&A. We got about 12 minutes before I want to start Q&A.
Oh wow, okay, this went long. All right, so we're gonna.
We were on a little long, but no, because people need to get to know you
Yes.
because they need to get to know the guy who's gonna work on their guns.
Right.
Because he's working on my M14 EBR from Echo One right now.
I cannot wait.
Oh, dude, I am so. I'm excited. All right, go.
So what I've done, I brought 5 different rifles to show you guys 5 different classes, 5 different concepts, 5 different methods. The biggest thing when you're teching on a gun is to understand what the person who's using it, what their play style is, and what their goals are. So numero uno, as we said, is a submachine gun. This is a 1 joule dual sector geared build. It is not the greatest ranged rifle because of how fast it's cycling. There's some air seal things I got to work out with it still. But I actually put this together last night, for the record. So she's got a few kinks to work out. But it is extremely fast rate of fire, low power. It is meant for, well, you guys know. Anybody who's ever heard of DSG in the field, the reactions are priceless. Just so that's what this was. It is focused on people who like full auto a lot. Not a lot of semi-auto. This is also running a high-speed motor to give more full auto and not as much trigger response. If I were to go down to a higher torque motor, the trigger response would cut itself in half almost. If I were to go down to a 22K motor.
Right.
But the rate of fire would slow down to around 40. So it's, again, depending on what you want to do with it, this one's dedicated full auto. That's its primary purpose. Because if when Red opens his field, SMG class is the only one that can go full auto aside from machine guns. With the exception
Well, I'm
of
assuming he doesn't do a rate of fire, which at a 1 joule build, if he's going to use the Kiowa rule set, nobody should have a problem with a BB hose like that.
Well, we'll find out. And if not, it's good for the memes.
And I would say they need to yeah. So that's the SMG. So guys, that's what he can do with an SMG.
I am still working with
let's go
DSGs.
with
They're not my greatest
so
experience.
I'm
yet.
going.
We're getting there.
SMG's not the
Dual sector gears. They are the biggest challenge I've experienced. They're the biggest challenge any tech experiences. They're hard to do because how fast they're going, how quickly everything's moving, and how much stress you're under. Because you double the power of the spring, cut the cycle in half. Mm-hmm. Anyway, what do you want next?
So let's just go with Kiowa rule set. We'll go SMG rifle. Give me a regular tuned up for a rifle.
All right, so we have
Tuned up rifle limits, which is 400 FPS
So we'll touch on this one real
or
brief.
under.
So this is obviously a Polar Star build. This is my personal rifle. It is set up for someone who dominantly shoots semi-automatic. So I have this set up for max efficiency and maximum performance under semi-automatic fire. It is semi-auto locked.
Semi-auto locked, by the way, for those who are not aware of semi-auto locking, if we have some newer players or newer techs, semi-auto lock means it will not go into full auto. He can flip that switch all the way to full auto. All
shot.
It will shoot is semi-automatic. It is a dedicated semi-auto rifle, which is what my M14 is going to be.
Yes. When I built this too, it was built to be a milsim rifle. For me anyway, when I put this together, that was back, the team I did have back in New York, the most recent team I was with right before I moved, we were setting up to go to a number of Lion Claws events. So Anyway, this one I brought to kind of show you guys that there's different things you can do with an HPA engine. Now, HPA is a lot easier to do, but you can set them up. There's different parts you can still put into them to focus on different attributes. If you're a DMR or a sniper, you run high flow stuff, high airput, high output, or high air volume, so you can push a heavy BB, but it's not as efficient. This is running really low flow valves, so I can run a very, very high PSI, still have a low FPS, and maximize my air efficiency. I get almost 5,000 rounds out of a 62 cubic inch bottle.
Damn.
So, which...
Well, what are we talking about with range with this guy? What are you thinking?
I have gotten... My longest confirmed with this was around 250 feet.
Let's not do longest confirmed. Let's do average.
Oh, God.
Probably
I never
average
thought about
distance,
it.
150, 200 feet?
More than that.
No, more than that.
It also
More than that.
depends on the weight I'm shooting, too. So with this at Kiowa, and Red can tell you all about this, I hit the 300-foot mark at Kiowa with a 3.6 with this. Now, I was just shooting out at it, so as far as
Okay,
actually
so
goes,
but that's all I mean. But I mean, in game, because that's what
consistently
people.
well over 200.
Okay, consistently well over 200. So this is
So-
over 200-foot gun.
Yeah.
Because see, that's the thing is
250
everybody's
is
like,
probably
well,
your max
I can
effective.
shoot this far.
Yep.
That saying that you can shoot that far is one thing. Saying that I can every time, or let's just say 6 out of 10 shots,
Yep.
hit something at this range. So when I say what can you shoot, I mean 6 out of 10 times.
We're talking more along the lines of 200 feet. That's also due, it depends on the weight I'm using. One of the advantages of HPA is you can adjust your air volume for the BB weight. So normally I'm running 3.2s. And at that point, 200 feet is a pretty good range for this rifle consistently to be able to hit my targets. And that's where a lot of really high-end AEGs are sitting. Now, you can get more out of them. I'm not saying 200. I'm being modest with the range.
Yeah. No, absolutely. Of course.
You know.
No,
I
no,
don't
I-
like
I-
to make promises that I don't like to promise.
Well, I mean,
super
it's like,
high.
so my MP5 can hit 200 feet, but I mean, I have a video. I talked to a ref. I didn't obviously range find it, but I know it was a far as hell shot. And I'm saying estimated 200 feet-ish. I mean, and 200 feet for any airsoft gun at this point is not hard. I mean,
If
almost.
you set it up correctly, yeah. A
Yeah,
lot of
I mean,
stock
well,
guns doesn't
even
take
stock
much.
guns are hitting 225. And I know Crytax with a heavyweight BB, Crytax with a stock bucking are hitting 250.
I'm gonna
Yes.
contradict you
Nope,
on that one.
nope.
But we'll go have the argument in the field.
No, we don't have to have the argument in the field. I'll actually send you a video about it where guys actually did all the range testing and stuff like that. They did have to obviously have
I
to
look
aim
forward to
up
it.
a little bit, but they were actually able, as knowing where the target was, aiming up a little bit to hit 250 feet.
So I will say this too as well. It is when you're in field, it is difficult to gauge how far you're shooting, and
Obviously,
I
yeah.
actually have no depth perception. So when I give a confirmed range, it's because I range found it after the game. I have no depth perception. I'm blind in my right eye.
Right.
So as far as I can tell, this whole place is flat. And we're gonna leave it at that because that's not what we came.
All
here
right,
to talk
so
about.
that's that gun. Okay, so now let's step up into the DMR class because I want people to know what you can do. So we're gonna get into the DMR class of rifle. Show me a D.
Fox will be pissed if I don't show you this.
All right, fine.
This is also in your rifleman class. So this is a heresy build. I did all the work internally.
Here's the thing.
My friend
hold on,
or
let
the
me stop you
customer
really
slash
quickly.
friend did
Let me stop
the
you really quickly.
externals. Shoot.
I don't understand why people say heresy builds. I understand there are purists out there and this, that, and the other thing. But let's say this was a real firearm. I don't like using the term real steel. I find it offensive. It's not accurate. Say this is a firearm. Come the end of days when the government decides to come at you, does it matter if it looks like this?
No. I like the way it looks, but the joke is it is heresy because we are running, and the guy who owns this is watching right now. I actually picked this up before coming to the podcast. This is one of my prouder builds. As I said, internally I did everything. Externally he put all this stuff on, and I genuinely love it because it is heresy. Because you have all of this stuff that is like, what is going? You have a P90 front grip on it. You have an A-case magazine that is a standard M4 on the end. It's fantastic. But to touch on why this is a rifleman class, so this rifle was built for, again, someone who's semi-auto dedicated.
Yeah. Open it up and let's hear
It
it.
has a gate tighten in it, so we're able to adjust trigger travel and
So
a
this is
bunch
gate
of
tight.
other stuff.
You can actually, and Ross, if you want to, you can move the microphone away and pull it up.
Sure.
Just
So we are running. It is a dedicated semi-auto build. So you can hear it's a very quick, short cycle rate, and we can get really. Let's see if I can do this here.
You just completely destroyed my audio.
Sorry, guys.
No, that's fine. It's fine. It should be okay. It didn't actually clip the preamp. So
dedicated semi, but it does
May
have.
I?
a nice full auto right at 30 a second. Actually, I think this one's sitting at 26 a second. Maybe tuned it down a little bit. But
Okay, so now
it has a good full auto. It has a good full auto if you need it, but it's meant for someone dedicated to semi-auto.
okay.
Despite its short length, this rifle ranges well out to 200 feet as well. No issues.
Short barrels you can do. I have seen 200-foot ranges out of short. Again, my MP5 I'm highly impressed with that I got off of Craigslist. My buddy Bill Fletcher or Convoy Bebop Gaming on YouTube. He actually won the Black Friday giveaway on evic.com and got the Crytek Chris Vector AEG.
I am waiting.
Shortly after release. Shortly after release. Seriously, it was their Black Friday giveaway for the Crytek Chris Vector.
That's amazing.
My buddy won it. I am not screwing with you. I couldn't believe it. I've won from Evic twice, more small stuff. I actually won some gloves, which those are my black gloves I wear all the time. I won my gloves. I won a gun bag and a whole bunch of other stuff too. But my buddy, he won the Crytek Chris Vector. I couldn't believe it. That was nuts. So
I won Jack
all right,
Squat.
so let's so this is standard rifle. Let's get to a DMR real quick because we are drawing up on time so fast.
DMR, because I got one where I really want to show you guys. So this is a DMR. Now, obviously, looking in the video, it's difficult to show the performance gains. DMRs are tricky because you have a very small advantage.
May I say something really quickly?
You may. Shoot.
Okay. Out of talking with
Shoot.
you and discussing some of the some of what you do, is it fair of me to say that the DMR build is your is your specialty? Because when talking with you, every time I hear you talk about teching and you just kind of go for it, you always fall into the DMR class and you always talk about the work that you did to figure out how to actually make a DMR on the field. Would it be fair to say that that's kind of a specialty of yours, was making a DMR on the field? Because most people are like, oh, I have a DMR, and they're running 450 feet per second, which is standard DMR, but they're not getting any range advantages because they haven't done what you've done. Would it be fair to say that?
As my all-time specialty, no, but as a specialty, yes. It's something I'm proud of because if you look on any forum, 9 out of 10 posts is, hey guys, I want to convert to a DMR. How do I do it? Hey guys, check out my DMR. The DMR is this weird mystical class because everybody is so gung-ho about them, but nobody really understands why. Because you put a lot of, as you said, you take a lot of DMR class rifles, put them next to a rifleman, and really the only difference you see is my BB gets to you a little quicker. But I don't really see a range advantage. Now this rifle, what I've done is gone through and figured out, and I'm not going to claim that I invented this because I'm sure somebody else figured some of the things out that I've done with this before. So by no means am I claiming that I invented
I
these
am getting a
techniques,
DMR build, and part of the reason I wanted you to rapid fire these guys is because the DMR seems to be something that's a specialty of yours.
It's
from
something I'm
talking with
proud
you,
of.
and I wanted you to get to the DMR.
I could tell. You should keep going. Let's go to the D. Oh, okay. Anyway, it is what I've done with this rifle is made it to be effective at long range. You need to be able to shoot a heavy BB. So what we've done is made this rifle. Well, the air volume you can't really change. It's got your full size cylinder in there. SR25 has a longer cylinder than most rifles, which is one of the reasons they are an amazing platform for DMRs. But more importantly, what we've done is gone through and modified the hop up such that you don't see the FPS loss with your heavier BBs. So you'll hear people say FPS is not everything, and that's true. Look at Toki Marui. But when the FPS is the only advantage you have, it can help. And when you talk 150 FPS difference, now your FPS is seriously dictating
150 or just 50?
150. And the reason why is
what is this running?
So this is running on a 3.2. It is right at 350. It's 1.87 joules.
Okay, 1.87 joules. For those people that don't know, that's 450 feet per second with a 0.2 gram BB. So you are talking 50 feet per second more than standard rifleman, which is 400 feet. So you're getting 50 feet per second.
But here's what we have to remember. When you chrono correctly, you chrono with your hop-up off. So this rifle, before I did some of the modifications to it, 350 FPS through the chrono on a 3.2 gram BB. Once I had the hop-up set to lift a 3.2, I dropped from 350 down to 210. I lost almost 200, or what was it? Yeah, 140 feet per second I lost just from the friction of the hop up on the BB. And that was 210? It was something along those lines. It was obnoxious. It was over 100 FPS lost to get it up there. And when I started using 4.3s, and tomorrow we're using 4.8s, because
I hope I can play tomorrow.
Anyway, when we started running those heavier BBs, you see even more power loss. So what I've done is gone through and found ways to make it so that your hop up, when you hop your BBs, you lose less of that power and keep some of that FPS power. So now when I'm shooting this on a 3.2, correctly hopped, I'm shooting right around 340. I have not chronoed it on the heavier BBs with the hop up on, so I don't know how much the loss is. I probably should have done that before this video tonight.
No, totally fine.
My bad.
Totally fine.
You guys can ask about it, and I'll get you those answers if you want to know.
Well, again, RDD Airsoft Works down in the description below, guys. Go. Here's the thing. I don't trust people with my stuff. I trust him. True. I trust him with my stuff.
That is a statement, and
I do. I don't trust people with my stuff. That's why my stuff half works all the time. Because here's the thing: if my stuff half works, but I work on it, I know what's up, and I know who to blame. If I trust
someone else, you can blame.
But here's the thing: is like if my stuff messes up, and he did it, I can go to him and say, "Hey, dude, there's some people out there that you go, hey, my stuff is messed up,' and then they try to fix it and they make it worse." I trust him because I can go, hey, dude, what's up with this? And he'll talk with me on the phone. He sat with me on the phone for hours before talking tech stuff. Just tech. So what kind of range are you looking out of your DMRs? Keep in mind, when I say range, I mean
you want to know what you
average hit. Yeah, what can you hit on the field? A guy peeking cover, whatever. What's your range effectiveness for in-game range effectiveness in-game, not at a target, no, in-game. That's the one thing that I hate when people talk about range is no, what can you hit in-game?
So with no elevation advantage, all right?
Elevation is huge, by the way.
Yes, and I'm going to tell you guys something afterwards. I know some of you are going to call BS on it, but is what it is. So with flat trajectory or shooting at somebody, and I'm assuming you don't necessarily
same level,
straight flat trajectory, you lose a lot. So shooting flat trajectory at somebody without raising at all, without overhopping, about 250, 275. Doesn't sound that impressive because it's not. When you raise your barrel a little bit and you're shooting at somebody and you understand how your
arc
BBs
using an arc pattern,
that I've confirmed kills at 300 feet with. Now, bear in mind, too, this is also with a weight restriction. I haven't been able to shoot this really with anything heavier than a 4. Last time I played, I got to use 4.3s, and that
people
dramatically
say
helped.
300 feet, the only thing that hit 300 feet is the Novrich gun. Guys, how long did you spend on figuring out your hop-up method?
I've been working on this gun for 3 months. Working with it and tinkering and getting things figured out. Tomorrow I'm excited because I finally get to run 4.8s through it and actually see.
So that's the thing, guys. You hear a 300-foot shot again, 450 feet per second
on a 2,
and he has been sitting here. And I remember when he started pulling this thing out.
That was when I was shooting like 250. We were because DMR don't.
And he is really he's sitting here. He is working on his own to figure out how to make the DMR an actual effective method on the airsoft field. Because right now, it's a roll. That's it. It's a roll.
You see a little bit of a range, but it's like 20, 30 feet.
Yeah, that's nothing. If you can hit 30 feet by just, or 300 feet by just arcing your barrel, again, I know it sounds ridiculous. I do.
The Novrich can hit a lot farther than 300 too. When you're running the heavy BBs and you've got your scope set right, I've seen people hit some insane ranges with that thing.
I've seen him. At Kiowa, I watched a guy cross the creek.
I believe it.
No, from like edge of tree line, which is way up on the hill. And obviously we had a little bit of that elevation. We had about 10, 12 feet of elevation. And then across the creek at the tree line, I could not, I was like, you're screwing. Guys, I've seen Novrich SSG 24s with slight elevation, heavyweight BBs, and a guy who's competent with it. Easily 300 feet. I watched a guy. I'm like, they're coming from the tree. Oh, I'm sorry, 350. My bad. I meant 350. Yeah. I watched the guy. I'm like, crap, they're coming from the trees. The guy goes, I got it. Racks the bolt, drops to his knees, and I'm like, whatever.
Click.
And I waited about
7 seconds later.
7 seconds for BB travel. And the guy puts his hand up across the field. I have physically seen that with the Novrich weapons.
And Novrich does that.
He is trying to figure out how to give you guys something that it's not going to hit the novice ranges.
Well, you're also
but
talking-
it is going to be in between standard rifleman and the sniper, which then classifies as a DMR.
Yes.
All right, we've
gives
gone
you-
way over. We should probably get into some Q&A.
Probably should, and I got something else I do really want to show. So anyway, that's to recap though. So what we're trying to do is make the DMR a formidable, usable class where you have semi-auto advantage, more range than others, but not as good as a sniper. Also remember too, the sniper rifles, like the Novichok gun, is shooting 550, not 450.
Yeah.
At that point, that big of an FPS difference, especially with the weight, makes a difference. I have, with this rifle, back in Rampart, and I have witnesses to prove this. Granted, we were sitting 100 feet above everybody else.
Okay. 100 feet above everyone else
Yes.
because Colorado cliffs.
Elevation. So we had a huge elevation advantage shooting down at targets in the open in a valley. Now, they were live gameplay, but they were in the open in a valley. So I want to make sure you guys understand, like, this is not like, oh my God, one shot.
Yeah, he's not saying like he's level field. No.
Yeah,
he is 100 feet higher. Again, Colorado cliff faces.
Yep. And it took me a good 10 shots, but I confirmed a kill at the Rampart, one of the Rampart games at 390 feet. Confirmed kill.
Which sounds really awesome. But when your BB has to fall down that far...
Believe it's still, that's freaking
No, that's
amazing
really cool to
range.
say. That's really cool to say, but you know,
I just want to make sure people understand the context.
And again, keep in mind, people go, no, it's going to fall the same. No, it's not, because your hop up counteracts gravity with the air in Colorado. All right, guys, we're going to start Q&A, guys. Let's get into Q&A right now.
While you're doing that, I'm just going to casually
Okay, so there was a question. Whoa. Oh my gosh, we have a lot of comments now. I want to get back to a comment. Oh, hey, Convoy Bebop is in the stream. That's wonderful.
While he's doing that, guys, anybody like Augs?
Oh, I know. I want to shoot that thing. By the way, I'm going to do a video with that. Let me do a video with that, okay?
You are more than welcome to.
Yay, video.
This is something to be proud of.
Oh, Zalo, isn't it? Jacob
Larcy?
I don't know. Zalo Airsoft.
Oh, that's Larcy. Larcy, you're watching.
Okay,
I love
okay.
you, buddy. What you got?
I don't know. I can't actually go back that far. So Foxman Airsoft asked earlier, and I'm going to paraphrase the question. Okay, guys, we are now getting into. Sorry, I have to go back. Foxman Airsoft asked earlier. He said, if you're younger and you're trying to convince your parent about airsoft, and he specifically asked me this question, what would you say to them? So. What would you say to them to try to convince them of airsoft? And here's what I would say to any parent trying to convince them of airsoft. I would say this.
Good luck.
No, not inherently, and here's why. First of all, there is the outdoor aspect. There is the exercise aspect, which is great. Second of all, you are a nerd who likes airsoft, who is now entering a nerd community, which means that there are going to be people who are like-minded, like you, who enjoy the same things that you do. So it's really going to help with your social experience in life. You can learn a lot of really good social things from airsoft. You can make friends in airsoft, which is phenomenal. I've done it, and I didn't expect to do it. And I like to just hide in my house because I'm married. I have 4 kids. I have a job. And let's be honest, I don't really need to make friends in my life right now because, well, I'm kind of established. Huh?
I say you're my friend, Royce.
No, I'm not. I just have you on my podcast.
Yeah, good point.
But anyway, our YouTube show. It's not really a podcast. But anyway, I would say that it would be a good experience for you to try. 2, it's going to teach you teamwork and team dynamics, especially if you decide to get with a group of people and you actively try to search out teamwork on the field. So get 5 or 6 people. However, again, it gets you out of the house, out into the fresh air. You're going to get outside. You're going to run around. You're going to get exercise. That is the biggest and most important thing because let's face it, physical health is huge.
Teaches character, teaches honor, teaches respect.
Yeah, it teaches you honor and respect because you have to be you have to be honorable and respectful. You have to be you have to be friendly with other players on the field so other players respect you. So you're going to gain a social aspect, and then on top of that, you are going to be able to be a part of something bigger than yourself. Those would be some of the instances. So you're going to get outside, you're going to get exercise, you're going to be able to make friends, you're going to be able to share something with other people, and you're going to be able to learn honor, integrity, and teamwork. It's kind of like team sports, kind of very similar to football. Like if your parent wants you to get football, but you're not, same thing as football, but just a different sport. I am going to take a quick second. I really have to go to the bathroom. I apologize. Give me about Give me a minute or so.
Flaunt?
Please explain this thing.
Oh, I can do that.
Please explain that thing. I apologize, guys. I really have to go to the bathroom. I will be right back.
You got this, bro. I believe in you. He drank quite a bit. And by that I mean 2. Anyway, while he's gone. So one of the things I really like to do, obviously most of the stuff we've seen here have been M4s. That's because that's what most of the community around here likes. You go to Germany, everyone likes G3s. Or G36s. You go to Australia. Actually, I don't think Airsoft's legal there, so bad example. But they would like AUGs. A lot of people, nationality is a big thing. So I like to try and get into some of the weirder stuff, a lot of the guns you don't see, and make them really good. Recently, I did a G36 for a customer of mine, a good friend of mine. He gets to play with it for the first time tomorrow, and I'm so excited for that. We did a really badass G36. This AUG has been in the shop for like 4 months because every time I go back to work on it, I end up with something else I need to do or somebody else's gun to work on. But I finally got an opportunity to get this thing finished. So basically what I've done is taken an AUG and made it perform like some of these top-level M4s that we see out there. Royce, like I said, he wants to do a video on this specifically, so I won't go too crazy into detail, but it has one of my fully built gearboxes, very crisp semi-automatic, a nice full auto, powered by a gate, or controlled by a Gate Titan, 11-1 ready, of course. Type 4 barrel, Lonix hop-up, flat hopped out of the box. So it's built to be a rifleman class weapon that is different from your M4s. One of the reasons I did the AUG is because I like the AUG drives me nuts. I'm not gonna lie. It drives me nuts because there's so many things about them that are awesome, but at the same time there's kinks with them. Example, really wobbly handguards. We fixed that. No wobble. The trigger usually is very sloppy and very long pull. We've made it, I keep going to this thinking it's a camera. Made the trigger quite short, and the Titan helps with that greatly. Increased the rate of fire, made the trigger response faster, and I've also done, for some of the Milsim guys out there, I've done one other modification to this, and that is actually added a select fire. So stock AUGs have your standard safe. Hopefully the camera can pick this up. Standard safe. And then you have fire, which you have 2-stage trigger, semi-auto, and full auto. What I've done is added a middle switch that will lock the gun to semi. So no matter how hard you push on this thing, it won't fire in full auto. So this is one example of some of the work I like to do. Thinking a P90 is probably going to be the next project. I've got a UMP coming up because I need to revive that thing. I miss it so much. And yeah. Royce, I didn't expect to talk this long. Royce? Medic! But all I got to say, so I guess I'll drink beer. Oh, who wants to see us hook a 4-cell up to the DSG?
We're not hooking a 4-cell up to the DSG.
It says who.
Okay, sorry about that. All right, let's see here. Lots and lots and lots.
We didn't get into the crazy custom machining stuff either. Oh, well.
No, we didn't get into the crazy custom machining stuff. It was just fine.
Short version there is as the shop grows, I have machining equipment.
A lot of people are commenting in the comments
parts
below about the great work that you've done for them.
Love you guys. Thank you.
Chaz Gordon's in Mexico? Chaz, you're in Mexico? What the hell?
He's driving right now over the road. You know he doesn't get back usually till 11, 12 o'clock?
No, that's Chaz Umbra.
Chaz
Gordon.
Right,
Chaz Gordon. You haven't met him yet.
I have not met Gordon. I know
okay, Zello Airsoft. How far along is Brett's new foregrip? Okay, I'm assuming. Convoy Bebop, just so you know, so my 4-year-old son decided to put a bed mattress on top of a baby crib and play on it. And that ended about as well as everybody could expect. He has a sprained arm right now, so I was tending to that when I went to my bathroom break.
To answer that question, Larson, we don't talk about that handguard. It is coming along great, and there will be no details past that because this is Brett's debut, and since it won't be out till summer, we don't want to.
Sergeant Clout, if you're still watching, I apologize for not getting to you. Quick question: it's my first time doing airsoft, but I don't know what gun to get. Which one is better, the ARX 160 or the MP7?
Oof, big ARX one. Oh wait, no,
the MP7 AEG specifically has not had enough testing behind it for me to be comfortable to recommend it.
And being an AEP gearbox, I'm not really happy with
the new MP7 is an AEG.
It's AEP confirmed today. Go on Airsoft Tech and Q&A. Alan's son, or not Alan's son, he commented on it. But another person in Germany got his hands on one of the VFC AEP or one of the VFC MP7s. It is 4 years.
Man, I would say the ARX 160 because the ARX is a copyright free version or a license free version of the ARX 60. It's the fish gun, isn't it?
It is no. The ARX 60 looks very similar. If I'm thinking of the correct gun, it looks. You should probably look this up while I'm saying this, so I don't make a fool of myself. Believe it is. It is a. It looks very similar to the Masada.
That's right. Okay, so the ARX 160, I would say
go with that over the MP7. They are V2 compatible. They're fairly easy to disassemble. Most of the parts in them. I don't know what they use for a hop-up, but other than that, motor, gearbox, it's all M4 compatible.
Yeah, ARX 160 for sure.
No
upgradability is going to be right there. Awesome. 2234. Where can I find your company and contact you? RDD Airsoft Works. There is a link to his Airsoft page in the description of this video. Go to the description. It's there. Awesome 2234. You can find him there on this video. So that way you can get some, if you need work done, you can get some work done. Guys, we're doing Q&A. I am going to do Q&A for another 5 to 10 minutes.
While he's doing that, all that contact information goes direct, or any contact that you use to get a hold of me goes directly to me. So,
absolutely.
I don't know where I was going with that.
Okay.
Moving on.
Foxman Johnson has another question. I love that name, by the way. Question for both of you. Would you recommend running real steel accessories on an airsoft gun?
Depends on the accessory.
No, that is very true. For instance, give me one moment here. I'm actually going to go grab my scar. I'm going to go grab my scar real quick.
Do you want me to elaborate at all while you're gone? Or?
Yeah, please.
Sure. So I would say, let's while he's grabbing that, because he's going to answer the other half of this question. Optics, it depends on how you feel about the chances of it getting shot out. And if you can protect them properly, real steel optics aren't necessary for airsoft because they don't hold the same kind of accuracy as a real steel rifle, but the quality of the optic can be much, much nicer. So I, for one, I have a mock EOTech on my M4, and that thing is going to get yeeted out the door and into the trash can when my real steel one gets here.
So
because they have such a nicer quality.
So nothing on my replica is I mean, I guess some of it can be because they're real steel. You can put anything that I have on here on an actual AR. None of it's real steel compatible. I've got a mock EOTech that I got from a buddy. I have a mock flip to the side. I have a fake, vert grip. This cost me like $5. This was free for me. This is just a knockoff. Yes, it says EOTech on the side, but it's a knockoff. All I did was to protect my lens for my scope is I took, a lens protector, a standard lens protector that would hook up to Picatinny. Stop it. And I hooked it up and I glued it. I cut it specifically and I glued it to the front to protect the lens of the scope. Stop it.
You focus on you.
I wouldn't say... Now, there is a brand out there, and I don't remember what it is, but there is a brand out there that offers sights and scopes that offer a lifetime warranty on the scopes.
No idea which one it is.
No, Jeremy from CX Milsim knows, and that's the only brand he uses. And a couple of them, he's had scopes completely crushed and literally sent them a crumpled beer can of a scope, and they just sent him one back. Or he sent them
pretty
parts.
awesome.
One was that he was in a car accident, and actually one of his scopes got really jacked up, like really bad. Like he had parts and pieces. Like that was it. He didn't even have a scope left because
Jesus.
I'm assuming
Was there any car left?
no, well, I'm assuming it was a rear end collision. But he said lifetime. So if you can find the company that has like a lifetime warranty for sights and scopes, that's worth it, in my personal opinion. As far as airsoft is concerned, there's no point to throw a $500 replica on your gun. There's not for airsoft. There's no point to it.
I like how we totally cut
Everything here, this whole gun, the gun was free for me. It was a birthday present that cost my buddy $50 plus a couple of things on it. I think there's less than $100 into this gun that you're seeing right now. It all works fine. It works great. I love it. It's fun. I don't think real steel accessories are necessary for airsoft. I don't think you gain any advantage over it because, let's face it, our max range, even on the good stuff, is basically about 100 yards.
Yeah. Even
Our max range is 100 yards. You don't need anything more than that. If you want something more than that and you can save up the money, get what you want. Always get what you want.
Hence what I said before, the real steel EOTechs, the airsoft ones, not to mention they're hard to find. The tinting on them is obnoxious and I can't stand it. Real steels, I'm hoping, aren't as bad. From what I've seen, they aren't, but I haven't actually fielded one. Just shooting them on real steels, they seem to be a lot clearer. So it is a lot of preference. In terms of, do you need real steel? No, definitely not. Can you use real steel? Absolutely. Would I recommend using a real steel Magpul handguard or AFG, which will cost you like what, $40, when you could use one of these for $5, and they are super rigid and really comfy.
eBay, angled foregrip, eBay.
Depends on how much you want to spend. Really, the only time you don't have a choice is if you're looking at night vision, because I don't think there is.
Night vision, you have no
That's
choice.
a whole different animal. Why did I even bring that
I
up?
think I misread some stuff. How does Ross go about receiving guns for repair? Can I drive to him, or do I need to ship my gun to him?
You only need to ship to me if you are not within a driving distance. So you can get your rifles to me. Once you contact me, obviously there's no address out there. I don't
Link
make
in
that
the
public.
description.
So once we've discussed what you want to do, or we got a little bit of idea what you want to do, I will give you the address and you can come to me. As you said, I run my shop out of my home. I run out of my garage. I've also had players can meet me at the field. So if we're playing for the day, they can play for the day and then pass the rifle off to me at the end of the day. A lot of times, like tomorrow, I've got 4 rifles going with me to go airheads, which I'm passing off to people so they can play for the day with them. So it's very easy. Now, if you're living in New York, Lauren, then you might want to consider shipping. Although if you want to drive out and visit me, I'm all for it. Anyway. So
Shut up, Convoy Bebop. I know you gave me those sites. Sorry.
Oof. Anyway, yeah, it's easy to do. Just get in touch with me, and I'm flexible in a lot of this. So
yeah. Any more questions, guys? If we have any more questions, I'll go. We'll stay live for a few moments. If I don't get a question here in the next about minute and a half, define driving distance. Driving distance, I would say, is whatever you're comfortable driving. If it's 20 hours, I mean, if you want to make that trip, but I mean, a driving distance most people could consider an hour to an hour and a half away. But yeah, because Convoy Bebop, because the entire country and Canada are driving distance for me. He's a trucker. That's he. For those of you who don't know Convoy Bebop, Project Mayhem Airsoft. He changed his channel and did more gaming now. He's going into the car stuff, which is his true passion.
Once. And we're done. That is well beyond, that 4 is well beyond the limits.
Solo, why?
What do you ask? Ask the question.
Umbra Wolf Airsoft. Tell Ross I'm shooting him for getting me sick.
I look forward to it. A lot of you came over when I was sick, and you were aware of this, and you still came over. That is on you. And for the record, guys, that is directed at a few of my friends.
Okay, so Convoy Bebop, he actually got the Vector.
Oh,
literally want to know what would be done if I ship the Vector to Royce. So if he ships the Vector to me, and I go, Ross, here you go, by the way, Convoy Bebop, you're going to have to pay for that, because I'm not paying for that.
I need to know what you want done with it, and you got to give me a day to actually look. I have not had a chance to open one yet or actually look at one, so I want to get my hands on one, but I also want to make sure that before he commits that I can actually do what I'm offering to do. I want to make sure that I can actually deliver to him a product that's going to make him happy.
Tombstone Operations, I apologize.
Yes!
Tombstone Operations
Mo,
Group.
I love you, buddy.
Okay, if you're commenting, I'm sorry. I'm going through, and there's some people, and I'm just trying to keep up as much as possible. Okay, so yeah, shipped out. Sergeant Clout, I live in Connecticut. How far is it to get to you guys? Ship it.
Yeah.
Ship it.
That's a
Contact
20-hour
him. Go to
drive.
the description below. Contact him and see what exactly needs to happen. Tombstone Operations Group, if you need, if you are.
Tombstone Operations Group is actually a team out in New York State. A lot of my friends, when I moved, that was a lot of my friends are on that team, and I've done a lot of tech work for them. They're the reason why my name is known. The name RDD Airsoft.
Ross has not fixed my scar. I am fixing my scar, and I finally ordered the part. Chaz, I ordered the hop up. I finally ordered the hop up from the Czech Republic. It should be here sometime between now and infinity, depending on customs and all that.
I want to touch real quick as well for those of you who are like needing to ship. You're out in Connecticut or whatever. Before you ship, we will discuss what you want to do with your gun and get you as much information as possible in terms of what it's going to cost, how long it's going to take, and what you're going to get out of it before you commit to shipping your gun across the country to me. I like to make sure that my customers understand what they're going to get and that they're going to be happy with what they're getting.
You also have a warranty as well.
90 days on just about everything, unless the very few exceptions on that. If I'm dropping in a used part, your piston blew up, and I'm just dropping another used piston in there, it's 30 days. But if I'm doing work on your gun, we're doing upgrades, we're doing a repair, and we're putting another part in, any parts I put in are backed for 90 days. Anything that I physically do to your gun is backed for 90 days. So I believe in the work I do, and I believe in the people who believe in me. Simple as that.
No, absolutely. Any more questions for you guys, or are you guys sick of us yet?
Do you guys want to see a force?
There's about I think I lowered it. There's about a 30-second delay on this one.
So we're done.
Maybe there's about a 30-second delay. So I'm gonna wait for just a second. What is the best hop up bucking? You're a fan of the G&G green, right?
As long as they're compatible. G&G green are my go-to for just about everything. They are immune to cold. They're very, very tear resistant. If you have a Polar Star Jack, do not put a G&G green in your gun. It does not like it. For those, you want to go with a softer bucking. As a general rule, G&G green is my go-to. After that, I will look at usually Mad Bull blue. I haven't really used, it's weird to say this, I haven't had much experience with Promi purples or maple leafs. Heard great things, but I've never used them.
So with my Masada specifically, because of how the hop-up unit itself operates, I am using a Promi purple bucking with a flat hop nub.
Right.
Because
flat hopping is something I do to just about
they're with a regular flat hop bucking, which obviously has no nub inside of the bucking itself. It can't contact the BB well enough. But that Promi purple has just the slight contact patch in there that just it really works well.
And for you guys who like to do your own tech work too, if you're gonna flat hop your gun, modify a bucking to flat hop. Don't use a pre-made flat hop bucking. You're not going to get as good of a result. Take the time, modify a G&G green or a Promi purple or a Mad Bull blue. Get the good bucking and then flat hop it.
Zalo Airsoft, Jacob.
I love Larcy. What did he say?
Final question: what happens if my gun breaks on the last day of the warranty?
Larcy, you would ask that question, you son of a bitch.
Your SOL, pay for a new gun. Sergeant Clout, I have an MP5. I don't know what's wrong with it. This is the guy from Connecticut.
Okay.
I don't know what's wrong with it. It then it stops shooting.
Okay.
It shoots, then it stops.
Well, that's about 10 different things it can be. So what we would do in your situation, I didn't realize you're talking repairs, not upgrades. So what we'll do in your situation is we'll try and figure out what's going on through text. That's very difficult to do because there's about 12 different things I can think of off the top of my head right now that can cause that.
That's something that he would probably have to get in his hands.
So normally what we do in that situation, any diagnostics, it's a $20 flat rate. You send the gun, I go through, figure out what's wrong with it. I tell you what,
because Ross, can you do me a favor?
Sure.
Sergeant Clout is on my channel right now. He's from Connecticut. Would you do me a favor? I'll give you the $20 for the diagnostics fee. Waive the $20 for him. Sergeant Clout, you go through him. I will pay your diagnostics fee for you to help you out to get you guys in contact with each other.
You can do that too, by all means.
Yeah. So let's do that. Let's do that. Sergeant Clout, you want to work with him? Get in contact with him on his Facebook page in the description below. And I'll cover your diagnostics fees for you. So if for some reason you just cover shipping, ship it out. I'll take care of your diagnostics. And if you guys decide to work further, it's on you after that. And if not, then at that point, he'll send it back to you.
Do you remember this too, Royce? That diagnostics fee only applies if you choose after you know what's wrong with it and what needs to be done. If you choose not to go through with it, then that fee is there. Otherwise, that $20 fee goes away. If we're going forward with the work, that no longer applies. That goes away. So that is just to cover me if I spend 3 hours on a gun and end up shipping.
Awesome 2234. He told me. I was told I pronounced it wrong.
That's my
Could
little
you
brother.
put the 4K in the UMP?
Send it?
No. God damn it, no. We don't have a UMP. We have an MP5.
You have a valid point. No, I can't.
Okay, Chaz Gordon, what about an ICS hop-up?
ICS hop-ups are only good in ICSs. Just because the ICS is weird the way it blends.
Okay, so this...
There's your force.
Convoy Bebop. Speaking of Polar Star, the version 3 Fusion engine that I got for free. I was there when he got it. This is my personal friend. I've known him since high school. Was in a G36 before. Sits loose in my RPK. Any quick ideas why that is? I'm still missing parts. He is still missing parts.
Sits loose in it. So as in like the gearbox moves around in the...
I would imagine that's what he means, yes.
So if you're missing parts, that could be... That's probably your answer, depending on what parts you're missing. So the RPK I know has... I'm trying to remember here. The screw on the bottom of the handguard, if that's not there, it's not going to hold it in place. If the fire selector isn't in place, that's part of what holds it in. And then I believe there's a screw in the back as well that holds it in place. If those are all in place, then you could try shimming along the sides of the RPK to hold the thing in place.
Yeah.
Royce is having fun looking at questions.
We're getting a lot of questions tonight. Emanon, who's actually a PewTubers Anonymous, is a YouTube Facebook group that I'm in on. And is it compatible with the VFC HK416? What do you mean? Is it compatible? Are you talking about the bucking? Emanon, please be a little bit more descriptive. What are you looking to be compatible with a VFC HK416?
I just got to deal with
Awesome on 2234 again. Do you also sell guns or only fix guns? So here's the thing. To help Ross out, I am giving Ross some crappy stuff from underneath my stairs.
We're gonna build some
Ross
sleepers.
is gonna build some stuff. We're going to promo them, and I'm going to figure out a way to use my channel and Ross to promo his stuff.
We're going to promo
to
you
take,
too, though, you know.
To take him to the next level and to get him more well-known. We will be selling some guns. I just have to find a way to do it. So, Emanon, you did mean the G&G Green, VFC HK416.
All day.
All day? Okay, G&G Green bucking.
Literally last week, I dropped one of those into one. Really, the only time you're going to have issues is with a Polar Star jack. For whatever reason, they do not like to feed BBs through them. The jack just can't push the BB in. I have no idea why. I've talked to Polar Star about it. They tell me to use a lighter or softer bucking. So that's what we do. Other than
Best hop-up bucking, so G&G Green. Okay, that's right. So he was the one that asked that. Sorry.
Okay.
Well,
there's your
okay,
answer.
Convoy
Yes,
Bebop. Royce doesn't like to read all the messages. RPK doesn't have a back screw, weirdly, but I also haven't touched it since I moved.
If you want to send me some pictures, I will see if I can give you some input on how to rectify that.
Bill, send me pictures. Just fucking text me pictures, dude. Get that shit. Oh, by the way, Bill, I want to buy your para. How much for the para? Ross, you might have a para in your shop. Bill, seriously, because it's sitting. Here's the thing: is if Bill sells me the para, if he ever wants it back, I'll just sell it back to him, and we're just basically going to trade a gun for money for a long time. No, I really want that para though. Ross, are you planning on dropping by Airheads tomorrow? Ross is going tomorrow.
I will be at Airheads tomorrow, and it will be fantastic. I'm gonna be there with Old Far Airsoft, a whole bunch of our friends, and we're trying a new game mode too. So
yes, new game mode.
Because Josh is awesome and decided to let us do it.
All right, so, guys, I think we've answered actually a lot of questions. This is actually one of the best live stream question and answer we've ever done. Emanon, sorry for not realizing that you were the person that asked before about the bucking, but the G&G green all day in a 416, he says, all day. With the stock nub?
Yep. Yeah.
With stock nub. Okay, cool.
I can't remember the last time I put a stock nub in any gun with the exception of the MP5 because it's not
Bill, figure it out about the para, and when you get home, just send me a bunch of pictures of every angle you can possibly think of that shows the gearbox wobbling inside. I'll get it to him.
Or send him a video if you want. We'll see if we can help you out so you can get that fixed.
Thank you so
not
much.
Not opposed to giving advice.
Cheers, Emanon. We'll see you later. My brother broke, and never mind. I let him use him.
While he's doing that, to answer the question on do I sell guns,
I let him use it. Thank you for the offer.
That AUG, for example, was a boneyard gun externally. Internally, it's been completely overhauled, as you guys saw earlier. This rifle will at some point be brought up for sale. I'm going to do some field testing with it tomorrow to make sure it's satisfactory before I put it up on the market. And there's other rifles that I'll be doing this with as well. A lot of my time is taken up doing upgrade and repair work, but when the free time occurs, we do put rifles out on the market. That's why my website has nothing.
Text message me with how much I owe you. Sorry.
You're good. Anyway, that's why my website has products, nothing. Because the opportunity to make products hasn't been there yet.
No,
Craigslist. Wait to get
Craigslist.
So I'm going to use Craigslist as well, but it's not.
No.
I haven't built stuff yet.
So here's the thing. I will find you stuff on Craigslist. Oh, I can find you stuff cheap like that.
Oh, to build. Okay, all right,
guys.
Turn into rifles. I get you.
Guys, I'm cutting off the live stream. This has been such an exciting episode. We got to know Ross. We got to know what he can do, some of the stuff he's capable with. I am going to be doing, Ross and I are talking about it right now. I am going to be doing some sponsored episodes from RDD Airsoft Works.
Royce, if you're there tomorrow, congratulations. Your first sponsored video.
I'm working tomorrow.
No, you're not. You're coming to play tomorrow.
No, I actually got a text message
so I'm
right
going
now.
to borrow your cameras, and we're going to pretend it's you. And
it's not going to be me, though.
Okay.
All right, guys.
Next time you play, you have a DMR. So, guys, we only scratched the surface of some of the crazy stuff I'm planning to do. As a newer company, I'm still trying to build up my shop. Some of you, if you've looked at my website and my Facebook page, you've seen the mill and the lathe come in, which lets us do all kinds of crazy fun stuff. So, more tooling is coming in, and pretty soon you guys are going to see the opportunities to have one-off custom parts made for your rifles. Like the handguard I have on my rifle here that no one can see, but most of you have seen it before anyway, but the opportunity to start making truly customized parts, and for those guys who run these weird guns that have no aftermarket support, as we progress, the 5-year goal is to have full operational machine shop with 5-axis CNC by the end of 5 years. That's the goal. We'll see if it happens. But I'm planning to take this to the extreme of custom.
Guys, bottom line, and for those of you who know me, you know this is the truth. I don't trust people with my stuff. Not only do I trust him with something, but I trust him with something that I still consider a friend's. Essentially, a gun changed hands for money so we could help a friend out. And my goal, and I didn't want to work on it because I didn't want to mess it up in case that friend ever just wants the gun back. So not only do I trust him, but I trust him with my reputation to take care of something.
Oof, I'm getting goosebumps.
Okay? Go to RDD Airsoft Works. Link in the description below. Thank you guys so much for watching. Ross, anything else on final notes?
Thank you for having me.
Of course,
It has been a pleasure.
Oh, yeah. You'll be back. You'll be back, especially once the M14. When the M14 gets done, it's going to be great. All right, guys. Thank you so much for watching. As always, my name is Royce. I am your